Hi, my name's Joe from GWS Roofing and welcome to Roofing IQ, the channel where we try to make roofing make sense. Today we're here in Fulham, just off the Wandsworth Bridge Road, and we're working for a client that we've worked for in the past back in 2023. This time we're up on the main crown flat roof. Hang around and we'll show you how we have made full use of the scaffolding that's in place by suggesting various ways to extend the roof's lifespan. Okay, so we were called back here onto this main crown flat roof because Peter and Bernie had a leak against this junction. The water tank lid attaches to the stack, so every time they were moving it, it was affecting this lead flashing. So we've now fixed this in place and created a new lid, which means that this can move independently and they shouldn't have any more problems. To be able to work on this water tank, I was quite clear from the start that because there's no edge protection, we were going to need to erect scaffolding. That naturally led into a conversation about if the scaffolding was to be erected, how else can we use it to its best ability to then extend the lifespan of the rest of the roof. The mineral cap sheet felt that we have here has been installed as an overlay system. You'll see from the new chippings on here that with a new cap sheet, this is exactly what you'd expect to see. But what we were looking at before with Peter and Bernie was that the fact that you get some granular loss. These chippings are the UV protection. So once it becomes bare bitumen, the roof arguably does need to be replaced. So the key point to this was that they were able to catch the roof before there was any ingress. So all we've done here is extend the roof's lifespan by overlaying this roof with a one-layer high-performance felt. This felt is by Gecko, and we got this from Skyline Roofing in Hanwell. For us in a domestic situation, to provide a 20-year warranty, torch-on felt is still by far the most cost-effective way to do that. Sometimes we need to consider the fact that it's a torch-on system, but as you can see, it's open-ended front and rear and brick parapets left and right. So in terms of a fire risk, there was none here. Sometimes that isn't the case, and then in that scenario, we do have to then offer a cold applied liquid system. An important point to make, which comes up quite often, is the fact that people aren't always aware about how this looks aesthetically. The most important part of a felt system is the bleed, and the bleed is this bitumen bleed along each lap. This is absolutely intentional and integral to the lifespan of the product. Whilst we were here, this chimney stack was in quite a bad way. The flaunching is mostly the first thing to go. This has been renewed. We've done various new brick facing and introduced new brick vents to each flue. We've terminated the roof with code 4 lead flashings and a lead mastic. Both left and right sides of the flat roof have received a lead capping just because we arrived to this brickwork being heavily saturated. Part of making full use of the scaffold that we have erected, we suggested that because the original fascia that the guttering's attached to was made out of timber, it was starting to show signs of rot. So the original gutter came off, the timber fascia was replaced and covered with a UPVC fascia, which makes it completely non-maintenance moving forward. On discussions with Peter and Bernie that live here, they've got no intention to move. So to avoid having to re-erect that scaffold again to potentially replace those fascias in years to come made no sense. We've often found also that with the guttering, it sometimes doesn't go back as well as we want it to. So for a fairly inexpensive piece of material, it's always advised that new guttering is replaced. So continuing on the conversation we had with the clients in regards to extending the roof's lifespan, we were able to tell very quickly that the main body of the roof and the lead work was absolutely fine. Sometimes what we found is that people are reporting roofing problems and blaming ingress on roofing issues, when in fact in this scenario, the issues was the parapet walls themselves. The ridge tiles could be completely lifted off, which was allowing the render below to become completely saturated. This problem was being exacerbated by the fact that people, or previous contractors, had rendered over the existing render, losing that depth that you get from the ridge tile, which is now nice and deep, maybe 2-3 inches. We've since hacked all of the render back to the original brickwork. Some brick repairs were necessary, and re-rendered to then gain back that drip edge and re-bedded on these ridge tiles, and that's both sides. There was nothing wrong with the lead flashings. So all we've done is introduce a galvanised bead, which allows the render to move independently to the lead work. Thank you for watching Roofing IQ. We hope you found that useful. If you'd like to see what else we're up to, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.